it led to college and then beyond college. So
Professional.
pro. So we're like, whoa.
In the presence of greatness. We spoke with a gold medal Olympian, and then it'll go viral, and then we'll just become
yeah. Thanks, Quinn, for letting us use you.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's gold. I don't know if it's actual gold though. It's a medal. Does it? I mean, it's the color gold. I don't know if it's actually gold or not.
Yeah. That was totally gold medal. Like you won first place in the Olympics, therefore gold medal. Right.
He got the picture with the flag and everything too around his shoulders. So yeah.
Right. You don't have to downplay it, man.
Well, welcome to A Word with the Girls. I'm Emily, and I'm joined with my sisters Molly and Abby, and two special guests, our cousins Quinn and Mackenzie. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram, A Word with the Girls, if you've not yet subscribed to our podcast on Spotify. Go click that follow button so you don't miss an episode, though it's been a while since we've done an episode, so we're glad you're sticking with us. We would love to hear from you, so if you've got a question or even a word that you'd like for us to discuss, make sure to comment on Spotify or Instagram or YouTube, and your word may be featured in future episodes. So before we dive into our word for today, we kind of want to catch up. It's been a long time since Molly and Abby and I have been together, and then since we've chatted with our cousins. So we're just going to kind of catch up a little bit before we dive into our word. So I guess first question is Christmas is coming up. So where are you spending the holidays?
We're both in Eastern Oregon, so Quinn's here for Christmas, which is great. So they're all coming over to my house for Christmas, which is going to be super fun. And then the next day, my husband's family does a giant get together for Christmas with like all their family, and they always come to that as well. So that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Super fun. Now, Quinn, I know you'd mentioned this is your first time being home for quite some time. Where have you been in the last 4 Christmases?
The last 4 Christmases I've been in Florida, down there working, getting ready for the season down there. But this year I was lucky enough to have to be working for someone that doesn't need me there till kind of the end of this month. So I was fortunate enough to be able to stay home for the first time since I think 2020. So pretty happy about that.
Awesome. And we'll dive a little bit more into who Quinn is, but we are in the presence of a gold medalist polo player. So he's a professional polo player, which is why he's not been at home. So fun to get to spend Christmas with your family.
Definitely.
Molly, Abby, what about y'all?
I will be doing Christmas Eve with mom and dad in Cedar Edge, Colorado. And then Christmas Day, we'll come back to Grand Junction and hang out with the Aiken family. And that's the plan.
Super fun.
So it's just us for Christmas Eve. And then Molly, mom, and dad will come over Christmas Day, hang out, and then they'll probably stay the night. Mom and dad will. So
very cool. Yeah, here Christmas Eve is always at Kevin's aunt's house. She always like throws a Christmas Eve party where we do like a gift exchange. So we'll go and spend Christmas over there. And then the next day we'll do like Christmas lunch / dinner at his sister's house. So lots of family time this Christmas. Do you guys eat something special, Mackenzie, like for Christmas? Like, do you have a special meal for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Well, so this year is different than usual. Usually we go over and do Tom's immediate family, the small Sheehy family, Christmas Eve, but they are just getting back from Wales, which is why we're having them over Christmas Eve. And they usually do like a prime rib that for some reason always catches on fire. I don't know how it happens, but every year it's on fire. And then Christmas Day, they just do like appetizers, and the Sheehys are awesome cooks, so there's just a ton of food.
Okay. So are you cooking anything special?
I think I'm just doing rolls. Quinn's not cooking anything, but I make rolls. That's what I make.
nice.
Cool. Abby, what are y'all doing? You always have some fun thing, grilled cheese or something.
Yeah, so we do homemade tomato soup and fancy grilled cheese. So we usually do like pesto, bacon, and mozzarella. on one, and then Millie usually likes just plain, but she likes all the cheeses. And then salami, mozzarella. I think that's it. Yeah. So fancy grilled cheeses. And then I bought stuff for little ice cream sundaes for the kids with like sprinkles and whipped cream and stuff. And then on Christmas Day, we're doing a brunch and I'm making a egg casserole with homemade coffee cake.
Yum. Molly, what about y'all? What are you doing for Christmas Eve? And then what fun things are you baking?
Let's see. We are doing fondue for Christmas Eve dinner. And for dessert, I'm bringing sugar cookie martinis.
Yum.
So I'm not doing as much baking this time around. I'm more like bartending. So yeah. So we're doing sugar cookie martinis for dessert. And then I think for Christmas Day, we're doing like a ham and funeral potatoes and
Mm-hmm.
Brussels sprouts, maybe. And then for dessert, I think I'm doing like a chocolate mousse, maybe a peppermint chocolate mousse. I don't know.
Wow.
So,
Yum. You
Yeah.
always come up with really fun cocktails. I feel like last year you did some sort of like pomegranate. I don't know.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, the mistletoe martini. I think we'll do that too.
Geez, so cute.
So good.
So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think Becky usually cooks like, I think they do like smoked turkey and then there's like tons of appetizers. That's what it'll be for Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, I think Kevin's sister's making like pork of some kind. And we're in charge of dessert. And so I'm like, we're just going to do angel food cake and strawberries and homemade whipped cream. We're just going to keep it super simple.
That's pretty
So
good.
That sounded good. So fun. Sounds like the holidays will be fun. Now, speaking of the holidays, we do have a really fun tradition that our family has been doing for quite some time. Mackenzie, Quinn, would you like to explain what we do?
Yeah. Do you want to explain?
You can
Okay.
explain it.
Because our family is just competitive, crazy competitive. You have to be the first one to say Christmas gift to the other family members. So it can be over the phone now because we're all separate, but it can't be over text. I think we've decided that you can't text people.
Yeah.
But you can call. And so, yeah, you just have to be the first one to say Christmas gift. So as people are walking in the door, you're just yelling Christmas gift at them, basically.
Well, and I remember growing up when we actually had like landlines, like back in the day, somebody would be on the phone, but then you'd get on a different phone and then you'd Christmas from like another line. And,
Mhm.
it was like a whole thing. And I think it was only an Evans thing. So Quinn and Mackenzie are cousins because our dads are brothers. So they're the Evans side of our family. And so, yeah, I think it's just between like us, these two families. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We do it
I don't
like
know who
Holly.
started that. It was probably our dads, but I don't know.
But I feel like hasn't Kip and
Yeah,
I feel like
Kip.
I feel like Kurt's know about it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember at one point there was like a huge text exchange between Kippy and Uncle Matt and Dad about like the specific rules because somebody was trying to text Christmas gift and they decided you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I know. We should ask our dads the origin story
We should.
of the Christmas
Yeah,
gift
that's a
game.
good idea. Yeah.
Because I don't think I ever.
And then compare notes because I'm sure someone will take credit for it or something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think we ever did it with like Papa and Tita.
Oh no, I remember doing it with Papa for sure.
With Papa too.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that. Yeah, but we were a little bit younger,
Yeah.
so yeah.
That is true.
I feel like he got in on it because I think we used to do it to Tita. Like
That's funny. Did you
Yeah.
call Tita Tita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were the best. So fun. Well, cool. Well, you bring us to a really great transition into what our word would be in terms of competition. We did grow up with like being instilled with this like competitive nature. And so Abby, I think you chose the word. So would you like to share what the word is and see where the conversation takes us?
The word today is sports. and what sports maybe means for us in our life or what we play now, or yeah. So whoever wants to open up.
Yeah, I think us growing up, we grew up in a very like sport household. There was always games on TV. Our mom played, Division 1 volleyball, so we get that competitive nature from her side of the family as well.
Yeah, we have like a double whammy of competitiveness.
Yeah, it's dangerous. But I think we kind of always grew up with sports in our lives, and it was something, we went to polo at such a young age, but not even polo. Our parents put us in sports pretty young as well, so it's been a part of our lives
Yeah, since
for
like
as long as we can
kindergarten, pretty
remember.
much.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause what are all the sports that you've played, Quinn?
growing up, I tried to play everything that I could.
Okay.
But my main three sports in high school were football, basketball, and baseball.
He did
And
one
I
year.
sprinkled in some cross country one
Yeah,
year.
he did 1 year of
I was
cross
not
country in
about
my
that.
senior
I feel you. Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it.
year.
And simultaneously, were you also playing polo while you were doing all these high school sports?
Yeah, so then I would play polo in the summer.
Mm.
And then
And you do it in the winter. You did indoor for
Yeah,
a
and there
little
was
bit.
one year in high school that I played indoor, but that was kind of tough because it led into basketball. And in high school, I was really big into basketball. So I only did that my freshman year. And after that, just played in the summer times.
Did you ever have aspirations to like play in college, like a sport?
I wanted to play college basketball, but it just didn't pan out, didn't work out for whatever reason. But I think everything happens for a reason, and I think for the better.
Yeah,
We're
look at you
looking at
now.
that now.
Yeah,
I know things
I
worked
think
out pretty good for you.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
dive more into your polo career in
yeah.
a little bit. Mackenzie, what about you? What'd you play?
I tried everything, but I am not as athletic as him. I'm not coordinated. So I did volleyball from like fifth grade to my freshman year, and I did basketball in junior high, and I tried track once in junior high and hated it. And then I found cross country in high school, track and cross country in high school, and stuck with that because you don't have to be super coordinated to do that. You just have to run. So yeah.
That's so cool. Did you run in college?
I did for a couple years, but the college team was not a good fit for me. So I didn't last super long in college. But yeah, I ran for a couple years.
Cool. Abby, what about you?
let's see. I dabbled in softball a long time ago. That was not a good fit. And then found soccer, did that for a long time. Did club soccer. And then once I hit high school, soccer was not a good fit anymore. So I actually found cross country as well, and did that the rest of high school. And then intermingled in there. Our dad was a pretty avid road cyclist. And so I tagged along with him in that. And that was super fun. And then he also introduced me to mountain biking, which was so fun. And so as an adult now, I'm able to still trail run, so I do that, and mountain bike more than road biking at this point. But those are my go-to sports.
Molly, what about like what all did you do?
I tried all kinds of things, and it's probably necessary to say that of all of the people on this call, I am the least athletically inclined. Um, but let's see, I like when I was little, we did soccer, t-ball, and then I did club volleyball for a while and really loved it. And then did freshman volleyball, but then didn't make the JV team. And so then I also was led to cross country after that and was literally the slowest person on the team. But the cross country kids were like my kind of people. So it turned out to be a really great experience. But yeah, and now I am a runner still. So, which is pretty cool. It's the best part about being in Colorado, one of the best parts. So, yeah, but I also did a little stint in softball that was traumatizing and terrible, and I hated it. So,
I will say, Molly, when it comes to volleyball, you have quite the killer serve. You've always had like a killer serve.
I do. I love volleyball so much.
I know.
And I think it was, the right thing at the right time for me to not make the team. I think the volleyball girls were maybe not quite my jam, but I do love the sport. So I'm excited for you to move here so that we can play volleyball together.
I know. I'm like super pumped. And Abby, you're joining with us, whether you want
Oh,
to.
I would love to. I never played
Mhm.
volleyball, but I'm down.
You'll be
It'll be
fine.
fun.
Yeah. So
Fun. Okay, your turn.
yeah. Well, similar. I think, yeah, I played, I think 1 season of softball, didn't like it. Because I'm really tall, they put me in basketball, but I hated it. Like basketball just was like not my sport. I hated it. Um, and then obviously soccer. I think I started playing soccer when I was in kindergarten and then played club and then high school. I really loved volleyball too, but I don't know if like the seasons didn't work out or something, but I didn't end up playing. I think I played high school a couple of times. And then because my parents thought it'd be good for me, they made me do cross country and I hated it. I hated it so much. Like I was goalkeeper for a reason. Like I'm not a runner. And so but my mom thought it'd be good for my discipline. So I did cross country for a little bit. I was in track in high school and I really liked it. I did like triple jump, high jump, long jump, like nothing that required a whole lot of effort. So yeah, but then I went and played college soccer with the dreams of playing professional. And I had tried out for a semi-pro team, probably like my junior, senior year in college, and realized that like all the girls were like in their 30s still playing soccer. And I was like, I don't want that to be my life. Like there is life beyond soccer. And so I kind of sort of gave up that dream, and soccer sort of ended a little poorly in college. And so I was a little bit bitter. So I didn't want to touch a soccer ball again. And so I switched sports, and volleyball came my way and I love it. I play competitive volleyball. Obviously I had quite the injury this year, so I'm mostly recovered and ready to go play when I get to Colorado and play with Molly and all that stuff. So yeah, but running is still not my thing. Like every once in a while I'll do a 5K, but that's about as far as I'll go. So speaking of running, now Mackenzie, I know you still run. Didn't you have like a really big accomplishment happen this year?
I did. I ran my first marathon and I qualified for Boston. So yeah, so we're going to Boston this spring.
Okay, so this
Oh my
spring.
gosh.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
in the
so
midst of ramping up training for that. But yeah, it's funny. Like I relate a lot to your story of like not loving the sport for a little while with soccer. I had that after college. It took me about 3 years to come back to it. And then I didn't run. I only started really training again about a year and a half ago. So it took me a while to come back to it through coaching. But I like the story how everybody kind of ended up in cross country. It was not their first choice.
Totally.
And as a coach now, I'm like, I feel like I get all the misfits, the ones that don't fit into other sports, which is great. The cross kids are the best.
Mhm.
So you're actually a cross country coach now.
Yeah.
That's so special.
Yeah, I get a coach at my alma mater, which is pretty fun. So this was my first year at my alma mater. I was at a different school for 4 or 5 years. And then this year the job opened up out there. So yeah.
Wow, how cool.
That's so fun. So what do you like about running? Those who run, like what is it? Like it's painful, boring personally. So like what is it about running that you love?
Yeah,
I
they
think-
can't answer it. It's not a good one because running is horrible.
Uh, I liked, well, at first I liked it because I was like to think about it a lot. Like I could just go run, like I didn't have to think, and that was really nice. Like I didn't have to be coordinated. And in the other sports, it was like a lot of thinking and trying to plan and stuff. And running, you just like ran. And then yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's kind of a meditative thing for me. Like I love going out and going for my runs every day. And I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why I love it. Like I don't know that I have a good reason. I really, really do. Yeah.
Listen to music, or do you like to run with the quiet?
A little bit of both. I do music when I have workout days, but I found I can't listen to music if I'm not supposed to be doing a workout because I go too fast. So I'll do podcasts sometimes or things if need be.
Molly, Abby, why do you enjoy torturing yourselves?
I think running for me, I think being a mom and a wife and stuff, running is just mine. Like I don't have to worry about anybody else when I go. I don't like running with other people because I'm like, I don't want to be social. I don't want to be competitive with you because I will be competitive with you if I'm good. So I think running for me is a chance for me to just like kind of check in with myself as Abby and not Abby the mom and Abby all the things. And I do run on the road and stuff, but I really prefer the trail because it's a little more I think it's more fun. Jumping off rocks and the downhill is so fun. So I think I personally prefer trail running just because I'm a little more in tune with what I'm doing and how to move my body and I go back and forth too with music. I think when I'm training for something, music is super helpful. But then there will come moments like when I'm trail running specifically, I just like to hear the crunch and the rocks and bikers around me and stuff. So, but I definitely have like different types of music if I'm needing to really um if I had an overstimulated day, I would probably turn on Megan Trainor and just like rap music and that kind of thing. If I'm feeling a little more in tune with like moody vibes, I do.
I think for me, I I like running for like the challenge of because for me it's really challenging that like I'm not athletic and I'm not a runner lie. And so for me, I think running is helpful in that way. It's also super therapeutic, like after the difficulty of my job and like trying to navigate education and all of those things, it's helpful to have like an outlet to decompress from all of that. Um, I usually like during a race, I'll listen to music. Um, but most of the time I'm listening to podcasts that are recapping reality television. So that's usually what I'm listening to. Uh, so yeah, it's a nice distraction in the
Mhm.
midst of all the pain and all of that during running. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So we've talked a lot about running. Obviously, Quinn and I, you and I feel the same way about that. So obviously we're a runner, but you are a professional polo player. When did your polo career begin? When did
Uh,
it start?
once I graduated high school, and I didn't end up playing any college sports, and I didn't really know what I wanted to major in or anything of that sort. So my mom told me to take a gap year, and just travel a little bit. And luckily, polo is a sport that lets you travel. And so I started just working more as a groom, like someone that takes care of the horses and rides and plays practice, didn't really play any games. And then after my first gap year, I was planning to apply to colleges and like in the process of applying to colleges. And then I got offered my first playing job in California when I was 19, I believe. So I went out there and then I just didn't go back to school. So, but it's a little bit different. I'm not like a professional full time. I'll play, obviously I do get hired to play certain seasons. But a lot of the times I just get hired to be what we call a pilot in the sport. So I'm like kind of in between a pilot and a professional polo player. And a pilot is someone that is mainly in charge of getting horses ready for games and riding and playing them in practice and stuff. So I go in between those two of being a professional and also being a pilot for the
Yeah.
horses.
So where did the love of polo, or how did you get introduced to the sport?
Well, I'm pretty sure my mom played with me when she was 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, she did.
You weren't allowed to
And
ride horses
then,
when you're pregnant.
She didn't stop writing until like 7 months. And
yeah,
she said at which point she lost her center of gravity. And so that's why she had to stop playing. But yeah, our mom she just did everything.
so, and then I was on a horse before I could walk, um, and was always around horses, always had ponies growing up. Um, and I think when you grow up around horses, it's kind of hard not to build like a bond with them.
Mhm.
So it's just started from growing up around horses and being around them, and then just figuring out how to work with them, and then just being able to use them to play a sport, and it's kind of like a partnership when you're on the field. It's amazing, to be honest. It's pretty.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you ever get to see, so our grandpa, who we call Papa, was also I would consider him a professional polo player, wasn't he?
If not,
Yeah, if not professional, he was at least like semi-pro. I don't know if he got paid, but he played on a lot of teams and like really good
he
tournaments.
played in the U.S.
I mean, he
Open.
won
He
the
won
US
the U.S.
Open, he went
Open,
to
and
England and played over there. So
yeah.
Whoa.
Like,
professional, but he played at a high level for sure.
Mhm.
yeah, because he played in military school, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
They were the first team west of the Mississippi to win the national championship. So yeah.
yeah,
So it's like in your blood, really.
yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It is
Yeah.
for sure.
Did you ever
So
get to watch him play or play with him?
there was my mom and dad have like cassette tapes of him like sticking ball in and playing when he came up to visit them in Washington.
Oh,
And
cool.
then I don't know how old I don't remember how old I was, but we did end up playing like a practice together when I was probably 8 or 9, probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
That is so special.
Yeah,
What?
I don't really remember it that well, but I do remember us playing a
We'll have
practice
to
together.
show you guys the video sometime. So it's pretty cool because he's at this point, how old was he when he came up there?
He was in
He would have been in
he
his
would have been in
60s or
60s.
70s?
He would have been in
60s or
his 60s. It was early 2000s.
Mhm.
yeah, and he's still like it's just incredible to watch him. It's
Yeah.
like he's so smooth and so easy, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't think I ever saw Papa ride a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I can picture him maybe it is at the like the Open.
Mhm.
I can see him. He's a young guy. He looks super handsome.
Yeah. I have the
Maybe
Because
picture.
they had
maybe
photos up
it's-
in their house.
I have
Yeah.
the
They had
picture. I have the
photos up.
picture of him in my room, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe you had shared a picture of him recently in some of your polo stuff or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think on the video that's on YouTube that the U.S. Polo Association did on me,
Yes.
there's a picture of
Yeah.
him.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. That's when
Mhm.
I saw it. So cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the one of him in the New Mexico military in the college game where he is like after like his hand is up in the air and he looks like he's about to hit the guy next to him, which I'm pretty sure he actually was.
No.
I think I have seen that one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's where all
Aw.
the competitive nature
Right.
Yeah.
rooted
Yes.
in Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy and unhealthy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to Papa, the guy had been like was a dirty player or something. That's according to Papa, but
I totally can get that. Like as a goalkeeper, I got away with a lot and I would take people out when I knew that they were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you didn't play dirty until someone else did. Like you were out for justice, not violence.
Right. Yes. That is
That's-
exactly what's happening.
Right.
I don't know. My dad always told me he was very much advocating for me to like spike people and throw elbows and stuff in races. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure our dad was outlawed from soccer games.
Yeah, that doesn't.
If not by the actual refs, by our mom at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only our dads would say, let's make cross country a dirty sport.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad would love that.
That's
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
My dad
Oh my
would love
God.
that to be a full contact sport.
Does he throw elbows? Because he's become a
yeah,
runner
that's
too, right?
true.
Yeah, he's considered it. I'm sure. I told him recently we did the turkey trot together. Well, not together, but we did it. And I teased him. I was like, Dad, you were the first place in your age division. I was like, did you take the other guy out? And he was like, no, but I would have. So yeah.
So funny.
It's funny.
Now Quinn, you got to be a part of something that was kind of like it was like a really big deal. It hadn't happened in many years.
Yeah.
What popular sporting event that only happens every 4 years happened this summer? And how did you get to be a part of it? Share with our audience.
So the last time the Olympics were played in Paris, they played polo in the Olympics. And so the French Polo Association and the United States Polo Association got together and they decided to play kind of like an exhibition, but also kind of a part of the Olympics as kind of a homage to that game. And so myself and three other players were picked to fit into the handicap of the game, which was 14 goals, I believe. Which in polo you're given a handicap, and then when you play in a tournament or a game, the handicap is based off of all four players' handicaps added up together. So it was 14 goals. And so I kind of had a tryout. I played in another game for the US in Florida earlier in the year against Ireland. It was another like exhibition game. And so that was kind of my tryout for the team. And then we got asked in April or March, I believe, if we would be available for the opportunity. And obviously I said yes. And it was kind of between me and a few other people. And then I believe I found out in May that I was going to Paris.
Whoa.
So very cool.
Yeah. So one of the things I don't know if Molly, I mean, you got to watch, but one of the things that I learned was that you actually didn't bring your own horses to
Right.
Paris. That to me is impressive in itself because, you know, like you said, it's a partnership with a horse on the
Right.
field doing these, like playing this game that most people
Yeah.
aren't familiar with. How much time did you get to know your horse?
So we got there on a Saturday and the game was on a Wednesday. So we got there Saturday. We were able to ride the horses on Sunday. And then we played one practice like on the horses like as a team on Monday, and then we played the game. So we only got to sit on the horses two times before we played them in the actual game,
It's wild.
which is pretty crazy. For me, it's something that I'm used to because I've worked for a lot of different people and I've ridden so many different horses, you know, throughout my time playing. So that was kind of an advantage for me. I'm used to riding different horses and maybe horses that I've never played before. So that kind of helped me, I feel.
Mhm.
But yeah, you have to, and it's different. You can ride a horse and you can practice a horse, but then playing a game are two completely different things. Which is always, it's always kind of interesting to practice one and then play it in a game and see what the difference is because there may be some that don't practice very well, but you get them in a game and they're really nice. But no, it was kind of a quick turnaround for us to try to get to know the horses as best we can, and then you also have to plan your horses with your other three teammates. So the night before the game, we all sat down and tried to plan out our horses so that if someone had a weaker horse, that not everybody was on a weak horse or not everybody was on a strong horse at the same time. So not only did you have to kind of plan your own horses, you then had to plan with your teammates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I think part of the reason that Quinn got the job too is because he's so good with the horses. He's a very, very good horseman, and because he's worked with so many different horses and people, and he's really, really good with the horses. I think that's part of why he got that job too.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. So it was, and yeah, it was. We had two coaches there that kind of helped us as well, and then I also got very lucky that the three teammates that I played with are close friends of mine as well. So it made it a fun trip, and we all knew each other before, and I think that definitely helped.
Yeah, having that chemistry already.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so impressive.
Yeah.
But like these horses are bred to play, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Similar to how race horses are bred to run. Most of the horses that play polo are bred to play polo, and they have polo in their lineage for 2 or 3 generations at least.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, and we were very fortunate that the USPA reached out to people and made sure that they rented us good horses from people that were already over there
Yeah.
in France. So I think there was 3 or 4 people that we got horses from, and it was kind of like a mix between all of us, and they were it was not, they're all polo horses, so that's something that's not easy to do, is to get together. I think between the whole team, we had 7 horses apiece that we could pick from. And I think most
My
of us played off
gosh.
of five or six.
That's what I was going to ask. Like most people don't know anything about polo. I sure didn't until I started watching you play. So can you give kind of like a very dumbed down version of like, yeah, how many, I mean, obviously depending on like the level of play, like how many horses does each person get? How many, they're called chuckers, but like how many like periods or whatever, all that.
Yeah. So it depends on the level of polo you're playing. The higher rated, or the higher the handicap the polo is, the more chuckers that are played.
Okay.
But most games are between 5 and 6 chuckers, and there's some polo that's 4 chuckers.
Just like the
But
polo that I do is like 4 chuckers, super low.
but most polo that's played in Florida and in Texas and Argentina, where I go, it's 6 chuckers usually. And then the object, it's 4 against 4. And everybody brings their own horses, depending on the player and depending on the tournament. That's based on how many horses you bring to the field. Most people, if you're playing 6 chuckers, you need between 8 to 10 horses, sometimes up to 12.
Each.
Um,
Oh,
and then there's 2 goals on the end of each field. And there's a white ball that you just try to hit in between the goalposts.
with like a
It's-
mallet that's like flexible or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
And the
And-
field's
So
big.
like
Yeah, the field is
croquet slash field hockey on a horse.
kind of, yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Field hockey's probably pretty close, actually, other than it's just it's not a net necessarily, it's just the 2 goalposts. And there's no height to the goal. So like you can hit it up over as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's like a lot
Another
of
special guest.
hello, Annie. There are like a lot of like weird rules. Like you'll see people with mallets in there, like up high and all of that. Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
don't,
There's
you
a
try
lot
not
of
to like foul or something.
Yeah, so there's fouls, and it's pretty complicated. There's a lot of different rules, but
Yeah.
most of the rules are for the safety of the horses first, and then the safety of the players second. And yeah, most of the rules are to just try to keep things as safe as possible for everybody on the field, because you are going at fast pace, and there's contact allowed between the horses and the players. So the rules are definitely there for mainly safety for the horses first and the players second.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how big are these fields? They're like massive, right?
Yeah, they're
Huge.
300 yards by 150 yards. So
It's
you
like
can
what,
fit 9
3
football
football
fields.
fields?
9 football fields in total.
9.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Whoa. I didn't realize they were that big.
They're
Yeah.
huge, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Which is why they go through a lot of horses,
Yeah,
because they're
It's a lot of
so
running
a
and
lot.
they're sprinting down the field
Yeah.
basically. With us, I play 2 horses. So ours is very different because we don't play nearly as fast. So yeah.
but a lot of times at the higher levels we bring more horses, and they'll play multiple times, but they'll only play for 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes at a time. And we have what we call spares on each end line of the field. So if you want to change, you can change at your own time and at your own. So you can go and change horses however many times you want. You can play as many horses as you want. But because you don't want the horses to get too tired, because when they get tired is when you have injuries. So we try to keep our horses as fresh as possible, and that's why we switch quite a bit.
So how long is a chucker?
A chucker is 7.5 minutes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Kevin and we actually went and saw a polo match. I think the St. Louis Polo Association is like the second oldest or something. I can't remember what the stat was, but it was incredible to watch in person, because they weren't like super high level, but they were like flying down the field and like kind of running into each other. So I'm sure have you gotten like, I don't know, hit off a horse or something before, or like?
Luckily, I haven't had like too many injuries, but I've definitely fallen off before. I've fallen off quite a lot actually. But luckily, I haven't had any injuries yet. But yeah, there's definitely some danger involved, because not only you're riding the horse, but then you're going against somebody else that also has a 52, 53-inch wooden mallet in their hand, and it's getting swung at the same ball that you're swinging at. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's definitely
Well,
some
and
danger.
there's like my mom always says there's four things to account for that are all moving. There's the ball, there's the mallet, there's the horse, and there's the person, and then times that by four, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So you got to play in the Olympics this year. How'd you all do?
Well, we beat the French, luckily. So
And who scored the first goal?
I scored the first goal for the United States. Yes.
Dang. Baller.
Yeah. That's
So
so cool.
that was
Like
cool. Yeah.
we have like the world's famous cousin, like here. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It's definitely special. I think whenever you play a sport, like especially when you're young, like one of the main goals is always to be able to represent your country in some sort of way. So to be able to do that was very cool and very special.
yeah.
Nice.
Even though it's just one game, it wasn't really like a tournament. Just to go over there and to win, and it was super fun and definitely unforgettable.
For
I got
sure.
like the best selfie almost immediately afterwards because I couldn't watch it. I think I was working. So I was like working and like getting updates from my mom. I got the best selfie afterwards of him with like the flag draped over and he had the medal. Like it was really
Oh,
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, because your parents got to go and
Yeah.
watch,
yeah,
which is really
Which
special.
was very special. Yeah,
yeah.
So
for
cool.
sure. Yeah, because
Wow.
I don't think they had been to Europe.
This was their first time to
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah.
So
It was your first time too,
yeah,
right?
my first
Yeah.
time going to Europe as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you've also played internationally. You recently got back from Argentina, right?
Yep, I just got back from playing in Argentina for the season there, which is always a good time. It's super fun to go down there. That's where the best pole in the world is, so it's always fun
Right.
to go
That's
down
kind
there.
of like, where they all come from.
Yeah,
So
it's like the mecca of polos down there, so
awesome.
just there. So.
And then as far as next steps, are you continuing to play? Like, do you have other aspirations?
Well, next I'll go to Florida for the season down there, and at the moment I just have a job as a pilot. Um, but that's what I usually do in Florida because it's very expensive down there. So I just go and get a job and just try to be around, and then hopefully get picked up by a team while being down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And Mackenzie, do you have goals for the Boston Marathon? Like, do you have a time you're hoping to get?
I do. It's hard. I'm like I do have goals, but I don't quite know how to set them yet because I've only done one marathon, so I'm still kind of figuring that out. So I have like an A, B, and C goal. My A goal, I really want to try to run under 3 hours, but that would be like a really big jump. And Boston's a pretty hard course, but other than that, I would just like to maybe PR, just run a faster time than I did at the previous one. So yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Do you have like a coach or anything, or are you just kind of doing your own training?
I'm kind of just winging it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first one, I just looked up some training plans and picked what I liked. And then I have one of our other coaches in Union where at the high school has run a ton of marathons. And so I asked him for advice after, and it turns out I was doing like a lot of things wrong. So
Okay.
we're changing it up this time around. He was like, "You're doing what?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So this time hopefully I'll be a little bit more prepared.
Nice.
How does one even like qualify for the Boston? Do you have to run in like a specific race? And this was your first marathon you ever ran, and you qualified for the Boston Marathon, which
Yeah.
is
again,
incredible.
baller status. Wow.
Yes, you have to run. They have like USATF qualified courses. So it just has to be a certified course, and there's a ton all over. I will say my course was a slight downhill course. So I was really setting myself up for success there. But you just have to run under the time for your age group, which at the time that I qualified is you had to run under 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's like in order to be able to register. And then after everybody, you apply, and then they take as many as they can. So it says it's 3 hours and 30 minutes, but this year you actually had to run about 3 hours and 22 minutes to actually get in. So yeah.
Wow. So what's the average mile pace then with that?
So for mine, I averaged 7:30s for mine. Yeah.
That's insane.
Mind blown. For
Oh,
Wow.
26.2 miles, people. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I will say it was like downhill. So there was like some that. So I think like I did the conversion and like on a regular one, I think I would have run like 3:20, which I think is like 7:35s, but or something like that. But yeah, it was fun. I'm trying to talk him into doing
Yeah,
it
but your
more.
last mile was also 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. I sped up my last mile because I was really excited.
wow.
yeah, no big deal. The last mile of just,
Oh my
fast.
God.
So like
Oh,
after the Boston Marathon, which feels like somewhat of a big deal, like what's beyond that? Like, is it like Olympic qualifying? Like, I guess, like what would the next?
Um, like maybe somewhere in my secret dream, maybe qualifying for the Olympic trials, but that's a pretty giant jump. That would be a 2:37. Is that was for 2024, and this year it's probably going to get fast, or in 2028 it's probably going to get faster, just because people are running so fast now. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how Boston goes, really, is kind of the plan and go from there. But yeah, we'll see.
Wow. Well, very ambitious family members on this phone call, like,
amazing.
shoot for the stars. So,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's been fun.
yeah.
Yeah. When you're,
Really cool.
I think that's what's cool is to see you guys just like, you're so good at it and you actually get to like enjoy the fruits of your labor, by just like being top notch, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think it's been fun for me coming back to running again and getting to be competitive in a much healthier way. Because in college it was not in a healthy way. And so I think I really love the competitive aspect of it now, but I think it's cool to know I would be doing it even if I wasn't competitive, which I got from coaching, I think, because my kids, the first team that I coached, we were not competitive at all. We were like last in our district every single year, but our kids still loved it and showed up for it. So, yeah, I owe a lot of it to them, actually.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that
Wow.
shift in perspective is probably really helpful, where sometimes like for certain sports, maybe cross country, it's not about winning. It's about like, hey, you're part of this community. Hey, you're like accomplishing a goal. And I think that that's a great message for anybody. Like find something that you love that's not going to like define who you are because injuries happen. Then who are you, So
Yeah, it's like that competitive nature that we all have. It like it's kind of a double-edged sword because it can really quickly turn
Yeah.
into a not positive thing too.
For sure.
Totally.
which is
Yeah.
why I exercise because it's a healthy competitive outlet so it doesn't come out in my marriage or workplace, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
I'm curious, Mackenzie, because you're also married. Like I have a husband who grew up who did not do competitive sports. His parents didn't want him to be competitive. And so we see any type of whether we're playing a board game or a sport very differently. Like he's like, I just want to have fun. And I'm like, what does that mean? So I'm curious, what is Tom like? Is he competitive too, or is he pretty chill?
He likes to say that he wasn't competitive before he met me, but according to his sisters, that's a complete lie. So he was also actually a very successful runner. So he is actually the nephew of my high school cross country coach. And he was a state champion runner as well in high school. And he ran in college for a little bit, but he actually went to the same program I did, and he had a similar experience to me. So now he does not run really. He'll come on like his limit, he said, is 5 miles. That's as far as he'll run with me. But he coaches track now. So we'll get to coach together hopefully for the first time this spring, which will be super fun. But yeah, he is also very competitive. We've all played card games before. And yeah, he's competitive.
Fun.
Wow. So Molly, Abby, are you guys inspired to run a marathon now?
No.
I don't know. I do have a friend who's aiming to run the New York Marathon in a couple years. And if you ever watch the footage from the New York Marathon, it looks like so much fun.
Mhm.
Because it's like so many people. And it just kind of shuts down the city and it's like a big citywide party. So, but yeah, 26 is a long ways, a really long ways.
It is, yeah.
So, and if you're a slow runner, it's like, wow, that's going to take me days. Like this is not just like some 3.5 hour whatever, it would be a very long time. So, yeah,
Uh,
who knows, maybe.
Alex and I are signing up for a mountain bike race in May, 30
Okay.
miles.
Nice.
And then the goal is Imogene again.
For Alex too.
In
Oh, nice.
yes, ish. It's like half 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the goal too. But I don't know. I mean, it's probably just a mind game. 26 miles just sounds. Yeah, I think if it were trail run, I would consider maybe. But
I-
I
Mine was sort of a trail run. It was like on a dirt road up in the mountains. So like that one was pretty like they do have trail marathons. So mine there were like no people around for the most part other than the runners.
Oh,
So there was
Oh,
like
that's
one spot where they could cheer at 13 miles and you didn't see any other people cheering until the end, which was I kind of actually my first one.
Hmm. Wow. Mackenzie, would you ever do something like the Imogene one that Molly and Abby have done?
I really want to. I was actually talking to one of my friends. I met a woman at the Olympic trials this year. We went and watched, and she really wants to do it too. And we're both trying to figure out, okay, we would just have to figure out how to altitude train. Like we'd have to go, that would be the only part.
That is the bummer
Because
part.
I think even the Eagle Caps over here, like which are high, which is like the highest spot around us, is not, I think it goes up to like what? Do you know how high it goes up to? It's not as high as Imogene, I know that much.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun if y'all came out. We could have like a family reunion,
That would
I'll
be
be
super
cheering for you, but
fun.
yeah, that would be so cool.
Mhm.
Hmm. Wow. So amazing. Well, I am sorry we don't catch up more, we are like, our age gap is like 10 years or something like that. Not like that's an excuse, but now that we're older, like I feel like we relate more on life and whatnot, but it's just been really special to like hear how amazing you guys are, even though we already know that, but it's just fun to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For
been
sure.
really great to catch up. And I know my dad keeps talking about wanting to make a trip over and do like a big family trip, which would be super fun.
Oh my God.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're all going to be in the same spot. It makes it really easy.
Yes, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So fun. Was there anything else y'all want to share or whatever before we've gotten a really great overview of just the impressive group of people on this screen.
Yeah. Look at that athletic legacy we're carrying on.
Yeah.
Mostly you guys, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been super fun to watch him. Actually, that's been a blast for me. I always am
bet.
like posting about him on Facebook and stuff all the time. He's very famous locally too. Like he comes to a basketball game, and I had one of my athletes come over. She's in junior high, and I was chatting with her. I was like, "Oh, this is my brother." She goes, "I know. He's in like all of our teachers' classrooms, like his picture."
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
So cool. Local celebrity.
Do you feel famous, Quinn?
No.
Maybe in Union, Oregon. That's about it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe in Union County a little bit, but no, I mean on the like polo scene or whatever, it's like pretty normal. It's a small like it's a small community anyways. So no, really. But
Very humble.
yeah.
So cool. Well, we're super proud of you. We're excited to continue to see you, make amazing debuts, whether it be in Florida or in Argentina or wherever. And maybe one day we'll actually get to see you play in
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that would be cool.
and yeah, we'll be rooting for you too, Mackenzie, as you go run the Boston Marathon. So cool.
Thank you so much for joining us on A Word with the Girls. on a podcast where one word sparks conversation. We really believe in the power of connection and stories and family, obviously. Now it's your turn. So take our word today, sports, to your people and see where the conversation takes you. Let us know how it goes in the comments, either on Instagram, on YouTube, or on Spotify. Thanks again, Mackenzie and Quinn, for joining us. You guys are awesome. And yeah, we're back for now, I guess. For today.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, I think it was super fun to catch up with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so good.
Awesome. Well,
I guess we'll see you on the phone for Christmas gift
Yeah.
Yes.
in a couple days. May the odds be ever in your favor.
well, love you guys.
Love you so much.
Yeah, Steve,
guys.
great to catch up.
Yeah.
Go watch or listen to our latest episode at A Word with the Girls on YouTube or Spotify.